Good afternoon. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the show. Let me do a mic check really quickly. If you happen to be tuning in and you can hear me, please give me an indication. Put a number one in the chat. Good afternoon. Okay. Put a number one in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me. I would appreciate it. Just need a little assistance with production, real quick. I hope that you are doing well. Today, I will be live streaming from two platforms. Two platforms. I have two channels. So, I wanted to cover this topic on both channels. And I hope that you all will bear with me. If you are on the Discerning Goddess channel and you want to participate in the StreamYard conversation where your comments can be posted on the stream, go ahead and join over there at Absolutely Amazing. And if you are a absolutely amazing. Our community over it absolutely amazing. Feel free to cross the street and subscribe to Discerning Goddess. I know that sounds so confusing. I have two channels. One is absolutely amazing, and the other is Discerning Goddess. And on both channels, I strive to have my crown on. Welcome, queens. Welcome to my brothers in the chat as well. I today I am about to go into a subject that I was trying hard not to address. I am not at all a part of the welcome Maybach. Peace, beloved. Thank you so much for joining in. You all, that's Maybach Mills. If you have never heard of him, click on his name and go over there and join his community as well. Over there, you're gonna get unfiltered content. Sometimes the truth is going to come at you fast, but it's best to have the truth from somebody who doesn't mind giving you the raw, uncut truth. Welcome, Maybach Mill. I love that you always check in. I appreciate your support, beloved. So if you all have not guessed, we will be talking about um the Diddy case. Not in a way that everybody else is. I know there is so much coverage on the Diddy case. I get it. So I'm not going to go into all of that. I just want to share my insight, my unpopular opinion, and what my discernment is telling me. Okay? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I typically when things are trending topics, and I know that the internet um has had so much coverage of one thing, I tend to let everybody do them, and I do not want to come to you all with something you have already heard. We've already heard what's going on in the courtroom. We've already heard what the charges are. We've already heard who's in the courtroom and all of that. So it's so much coverage. I don't want to come to you with what you've already heard. Just understand if you are listening to this video right now, you're probably going to hear something that you have not heard, which is my insight, my opinion, and what my discernment tells me. And it's another perspective on this case. I have been doing my own support and research of this subject, and I have not heard this angle yet, and I felt this way from the very beginning. So please bear with me with this. So yes, if you are, and I have to repeat myself because I am on two channels. So if you are on the absolutely amazing channel, welcome. Feel free to click the link inside the chat and become a subscriber of my other channel, which is Discerning Goddess, where for the most part I talk about college sports, and for the most part we follow Coach Prime and the young men over there, our nephews. So I'm an internet aunt on that channel, and I support our young people over at Discerning Goddess. So feel free to subscribe to Discerning Goddess, and if you are over there on Discerning Goddess and you just want to keep up with trending topics that are not sports related, because at some point I'm going to, separate the two, and you want to just keep up with what's going on, feel free to join me over on my other channel, which is absolutely amazing, which is the channel that is connected to StreamYard. So if y'all have always wondered why she don't never put out comments on the screen, the reason is because StreamYard is connected to absolutely amazing and not the discerning goddess. So I can't post comments on the screen when I'm over here doing live, even though I go live over here the most. I hope that made sense to you guys. So welcome, 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 y'all. And if you have not already voted, there is a poll. Let me see if I set it up in the other one. Nope, I did it. There is a poll that will be up, and that's up on the other channel. And if you can go ahead and answer that question for me, I very much appreciate it. Let's go ahead. And it's anonymous. I don't know who did what or said what in the poll. I have no way of knowing what your how you voted. So go ahead and vote for me, and I would love to know what the people think. What do the people think? Okay. Oh, my copy and paste is not working. Okay, I'm gonna have to type it manually. Give me one moment. Um, Give me one moment, you guys. Let me take a brief break. I'll be right back. Please don't go. Okay, everybody, I'm sorry. I am back. I had to adjust a technical issue really quickly. I apologize. Um, so if you are listening in either chat, I am doing this show right now from both channels, from my absolutely amazing channel as well as the Discerning Goddess channel. If you are not familiar with either, there's a link in each chat where you can click on it and take a look and a visit over to each channel. And I would love for you to subscribe to each channel because I do work on both channels. I appreciate that. And if you are over at Discerning Goddess, just understand that although I can read your chats and I see your chats and I can engage with you, but I cannot post the comments on the screen on that channel. I can only post comments from Absolutely Amazing. But today I felt like this subject and this title was appropriate for both communities. So with that's why I'm doing a double stream today on each channel, which um so I'm not sure if you all were able to hear me previously because I think I was on mute. But I am going to address this topic. I have been avoiding it for a long time because it's not something that I felt like added value or that I could speak about in a way that I could maintain the respect level in the room, which and this is a tough conversation to have. Everybody has a difference in opinion, but I hope that after you hear my perspective based on my discernment and the wisdom that I hope that I can convey, that we can still leave away from this conversation with a level of understanding and a level of respect for one another. And if you feel like you want to come up and give your input and join the conversation, just let me know and we can connect. I can definitely send you the link and you can come on the panel and share your opinion as well. So, with that being said, I know everybody is covering the Diddy trial. Everybody has an opinion, some feedback, and it's all over the place. But just understand that I will not be reading court documents. We are not going to do a whole stream of the trial today. I am doing something completely and utterly different. I feel like I have an unpopular opinion that I have not heard anyone say. Um, as of today. So I want to share what my perspective is, and some people might be surprised. But just know before I go into this subject, I am always and forever always will be pro woman, pro black woman, and first, okay, first. Of course, I am community first, and I would never, ever, ever take the position of accusing a victim of overdoing and doing the most where when she has been abused. Okay, I am always, always advocating for anyone that has been victimized in any way, especially Black women. With that being said, I do feel like I have a duty to share insight in something that I do know and that I do see. And this is not a definite, it's just something that I see, okay, and things that I'm familiar with. So at no point in my commentary am I intentionally trying to discount the claims that Cassie has said, the things that have been done to her. Um, we are looking at court and we will let things play out. I'm not at all holding her hostage based on what she said was done to her. My heart goes out to any woman that has suffered in a way that has caused them eternal trauma. And what do I mean by eternal trauma? I was always taught that when someone violates a woman or violates a child, it is something that is likened to um, the unaliving of a person, right? You take something away from their soul that cannot be replaced except by one person, and that is the Almighty God, the Most High. So, X crimes against anyone, I totally, totally do not support. But, however, I do want to highlight some things that hopefully we can walk away and see that everybody was held accountable for what we are witnessing today in the Diddy trial. So, if you are not familiar with Cassie, what's her real name, y'all? Help me out. Cassie Ventura. She is she's an artist, and she was the former girlfriend of Sean P Diddy Combs. Many of us know him as Puff. Some even he called himself Brother Love at some point. So she was a girlfriend of his for about 11 years. How she became the girlfriend is interesting. We will get into that as well. But when you have P Diddy, who is the person in common that we're speaking about, there are several women who I will address today. We will talk about Cassie Ventura, we will talk about Kim Porter, and we will talk about Carisha Brown Lee, who many of you know as Young Miami. And if you're just getting here, thank you for joining me today. I am streaming from two channels, so please like this video and share it. And I will tell you this. I am not going to talk about what everybody else is discussing on this case. I'm not going to read court documents. I am not going over what you possibly already heard. I want to get right to the point and give you the meat and potatoes of what my perspective is and what it is I saw from day one. Maybe the first week of the lawsuit that when Cassie gave her lawsuit to P. Diddy, and he responded within 24 hours and paid her out. So if you're interested in knowing what that is, thank you so much for being here. And if you want to come up here and share your perspective and your opinion, that's fine as well. And it's okay if we have a difference in opinion. I welcome someone to come up here and have a different opinion than me because Hey, I don't know everything. I just know what I know, right? I would love to hear from somebody else who is mature enough and can remove emotion from this entire conversation. This is not an emotionally driven conversation at all. It's something that is there are some subjects that I think we avoid because it is a uncomfortable topic for the most part. And in some places, it's a hard conversation to have. So, where I will begin with is this. Do you all remember a while ago when Carisha, Young Miami, got into a very intense verbal disagreement online with another young lady that Sean Combs was involved with? Her name is Gina Tower. Gina, do you all remember that happening? Do you remember that very intense, explosive argument that that exchange that she had on Twitter? Let me know in the chat if you remember the argument that Young Miami had with the other young lady. If you remember that, please let me know in the comments. While I pull up and get my screen up, let me know. So a lot of people came into the knowledge of P Diddy and Young Miami had having a relationship, right? It was all over the place. It was all over the place. So you couldn't go online without seeing Sean Combs um, and Young Miami together. So on your screen is an exchange that Young Miami had. I think she was responding to Gina. So there used to be a lot of tit for tat and girls fighting over him. Literally, at least once a month, she was fighting over Diddy with someone else. So this is one of those moments. But I want to bring to your attention, they had this huge exchange of words. I'm not, and I want to apologize to anyone about the language that's in here. That's not my language, it's theirs. She had this huge exchange with Gina, and this is what she said to her right here. And it is our belief that this is a comment that implicated P. Diddy and what they consider to be the ex trafficking part of his charges, because this confirmed a lot. Okay, this confirmed a lot because it was coming from his then current girlfriend. When she made this comment, she was then the current girlfriend of Sean Combs. Hold on, I have to remove a layer. Give me one moment because I'm not seeing it on the screen. There we go. Now you can see it. I apologize for the language. So this is a tweet from Carisha, also known as Young Miami. Um, when she was in her current relationship with P. Diddy, she was talking to the young lady named Gina. Can y'all see that? She said, if I wanted you to do a certain thing to me, Diddy would have had you on your knees, 304. You are a eater. And that particular comment is so key to everything because after this argument that she had with this young lady, shortly after that, the case there was a case that came about. Y'all stay with me. So, right before this argument, there was an awards program. There was an awards program. And let me pull that footage up. Here we go. Give me one moment. I have to recapture my screen. So at this particular event, at the BET Awards to be exact, P. Diddy was giving a speech, and as he was giving his speech, Young Miami was in the crowd supporting him with this sign that said Yo, Go Poppy. It said Young Miami holding a Go Poppy sign during Diddy's BET Awards speech. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Um, it was during that speech, you guys, that P. Diddy out of nowhere addressed Cassie, and it was so random. It's like everybody's like, "What you doing? What are you talking about, Cassie? You here with Young Miami? Is she here?" Um, so we were like clueless to why was he? Hold on. Why was he addressing Cassie? Hold on, I'm trying to pull up the video. There we go. Give me one moment. Are y'all with me? Do y'all understand? Follow me. It's a lot because I gotta go from one slide to the next slide. So I have to pull this up. I'm sorry. So that was Young Miami right here supporting him and as he was giving his speech at the BET Awards. Then let's listen to his speech because this speech is key. And this speech, in my opinion, started everything. Everything. I'm going to get into it. I am going to get into it. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Oh God. Are y'all here? Hey Mac, welcome, welcome, welcome to the show today. You guys, I had to start with that because it was at that moment all hell started breaking loose around P. Diddy. There was a lot mentioned in that speech. I don't know what is going on with my system today, but my I'm sorry, my avatar is not showing up and there's a serious delay. So y'all, please bear with me. Please bear with me. Hold on. Um, okay. I'm sorry that y'all can't see my picture, but StreamYard is not cooperating. My apologies. Okay, so after that speech, and that was in 2022, you guys. So the whole time he was giving that speech, the whole time he was giving that speech, you had this happening in the audience. You had Carisha, aka Miami, in the audience holding up this sign saying "Go Poppy," cheering on her then boyfriend, P Diddy. And the interesting part was it after the award ceremony, everybody was talking about. He said all that he gave that speech, and he didn't even mention his own so-called girlfriend not one time. That was one of the main topics. Everybody that was a trending topic, and then also the trending topic was him mentioning Cassie. Um, Fast forward to today, we know a whole lot of people who are implicated in this case, and if you rerun just a little bit, you will hear him mention uh the lady KK, Lorianne Gibson, and a few others who were also mentioned in the investigation of the federal case. That's interesting. But also, I also noticed today how inebriated he was, under the influence of something. I don't know what it was. I don't know the men that were standing behind him. I don't know if they were just there to be celebrated as well, or they were just there to make sure he was okay in case he gets unhinged. It looked like they were just pacing themselves, hoping that he didn't get unhinged. Um, but he was clearly all over the place as he was speaking. He was thanking some of the most random people, in my opinion. So I wanted to line this up so we all can see the timeline. His speech, during his speech, you have Carisha saying, "Go, Poppy," right? So after that famous speech, because it is a famous speech at this moment, after all that happened, we saw Carisha get into a very heated argument with one of his current, I don't know to call them side pieces or current girlfriends, because you have girlfriends at the same time. And what I said the first time is Carisha's argument online implicated, it made everybody look like, oh my God, really? But it also implicated P. Diddy in a lot of things. Um, so when you see charges of trafficking, when you see somebody say he made me do this or he made me do that, um, she repeated a lot of things that it's like, well, how do you know? Because one, these are Cassie's claims, but in an argument, a heated argument, Carisha uh, spoke about them as if they were true. So let me show y'all that again before I move on with my commentary. So if you read it, this is a tweet in 2022. We just saw P. Diddy doing his speech in 2022. So this was right after the BET Awards. There was this huge argument in exchange between two women, Carisha Brownlee, aka Young Miami, and Gina Tao, who's also a longtime girlfriend of P. Diddy. And this is what she said to her in an argument. If I wanted you to do a certain thing, Diddy would have had you on your knees. Call the girl a 304 hoe, 304, I'm sorry, and call her a eater, whatever that is. If you, whatever your imagination is telling you it is, that's what it is. I'm not going to describe it. It was a lot to watch. It was a lot to witness. So let's get into the details. It is remember I told y'all I have an unpopular opinion about this whole case. It all started that night during that argument, in my opinion. Let me see who I got in here. Hey, Matt, welcome. You say this is how you know he thought he can't be touched. And you said, please don't tell me. Listen, I don't know. It's sometimes you just don't want certain people to say your name, and this is one of those times. Oh yeah, he was definitely under the influence of something. Y'all, I don't know. Let me try to fix my own. shouted Cassie out. I'm sorry, can y'all hear me now? When he shouted her out, that triggered her, that caused her to, not just her then husband, to say, how are we going to address this? I believe when he shouted Cassie out at the award ceremony, he had already gotten the lawsuit paper. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I have said so much I didn't even know I wasn't on. But that was his polite way of responding to her and to taunt her when he added her to his BET award speech. Because why would you add her to your BET award speech? She's married, she's had a baby, she has a husband who everybody knows that can't stand you. So in my opinion, when he received that lawsuit from Cassie for $30 million, he was playing with her. He added her to the BET speech just to be petty. And to then after that, Young Miami gets into this really disgusting argument with another young lady, and that set everything off because then in that argument, in that exchange, Carisha, aka Young Miami, implicated him into forcing people to do sexual acts upon her or anyone else. She said that, not me. Those were her words. And had she not said that, it would have been it would not have ever been a confirmation that this stuff was happening, right? But she put it in writing and it's all over the internet. And at the time she was his then current girlfriend, which makes it even more crazy. So in my opinion, my discernment tells me this. Cassie, even though she was married, even though she had had a baby, she was still in some way um into her past with Puffy. What do I mean? She was jealous of his current relationship. Although she said she had a terrible time, she was ABUs. She was traumatized from being mishandled, misused, and um trafficked and all that type of stuff. And also, although she says that, but she also had a level of access into an industry that had she not been with Puffy, she would not have had access to. She also had access to, you know, living a lifestyle that she had come accustomed to while she was with him. And it happened to come with a lot of ABUs, right? I'm not condoning any of it. But what I will say is this: seeing Carisha flaunt her relationship and be so bold about it with another woman had to get under Cassie's skin. Here's why I say this. Here's why I say this. I know just from being in group dynamics and historically knowing certain things about certain groups of people. Let me just lay the base right here. When a black man is in a interracial relationship with another woman that's not black, that other woman has a measure of insecurity when she is around black women, when her man is around black women. Let's be clear. It is true. It is an absolute proven fact that for the most part, black men who date everyone other than a black woman, they date other or marry other, they tend to speak negatively about black women. They tend to disrespect black women heavily, not all, but a lot of them. And so when he's with that other woman, she feels a sense of entitlement, security, or pride that she is better than black women. And I am willing to believe that these comments and things have been done when in her relationship with Puff, to see him treat the love of his life, Kim Porter, a certain way. Cassie felt that she was better than. Now we fast forward to this fight that Carisha had online, where Carisha is really standing in the paint against another woman who is considered exotica, other, or biracial, similar to Cassie. Cassie didn't take that too lightly. She has for almost a year and a half had to watch Puffy in Miami flaunt their whole relationship all over Instagram and the internet. She has had to watch the blogs, post them, talk about them. She has had to watch the comments. Some young ladies adore Miami's privilege, adore the fact that she had access to such luxury. Because I'm gonna be honest, they was balling out of control, and P Diddy was showering her with gifts and money. They was on yachts every other week. She was at the Chanel store every other day. Hi, hey sis, welcome. She was at the Chanel store every other day. I'm gonna be honest. Cassie on the outside looking in, she did not appreciate that at all. She had her relationship with P Diddy had come to an end, and for months, weeks, and years, she has had to watch somebody take her place, and that was Carisha. She didn't like that. It could have been anybody, but as far as Cassie is concerned, it can't be no little black girl. Let me tell y'all something, and that's all I say. We have to have a real conversation, and we have to have a hard conversation. Everybody competes with the black woman. Okay, it doesn't matter. Even right now, if you get into an argument with, if you see two girls get into the argument, what's the first thing they're gonna say to her? They're gonna criticize her skin color, and they're gonna talk about the wig on her hair, on her head, because that's what black men do, right? But Cassie, in her mind, you could move on with somebody other than a pretty black girl. This is my opinion, my theory, my my this is my opinion. It's not a valid one that everybody else is speaking, but is my perspective, that and my theory, that Cassie was extremely jealous that P Diddy moved on, and he did so with a black girl who had her own motion, and he was posting her and having a great time with her without Cassie. Cassie was mad as hell. So when Young Miami got into that exchange with Gina, I believe Cassie saw that as her opportunity to retaliate against Sean Combs. Let me be clear. I am not a fan of P. Diddy. I am not a supporter of P. Diddy. I could care less. But when I see something, I see what I see, what I see. I know what I'm looking at. And what I was looking at then was confirmed for me this week, that Cassie was insanely jealous of all the women around P. Diddy, specifically, and I'm adding black women. She said that this week too. So knowing that she had done locked herself in a marriage with Alex, done had a baby with Alex, but Alex could not give her the life, meaning the income, the access to luxury, and the access to celebrities, that on the level that P Diddy could. So her only go to was, well, I'll get him for his money. Now, my other unpopular opinion is this: that wasn't all Cassie's idea. I believe her. I don't know if he white or Latina or white Latina. I believe he also told her, "I'm sick of him. Let's sue him and get some money from him." That is my theory. That is my opinion. It's an unpopular one, but I believe Cassie and her husband both conspired and decided to sue Sean Combs for millions of dollars, because both of them benefited from being with P. Diddy. Alex was the trainer, and Cassie was the girlfriend. So of course, with Cassie leaving P. Diddy, and now that Alex, you weren't the trainer anymore, their lifestyles changed drastically. In my opinion, they didn't have the access to money. They didn't have any of that. So a conversation quick with her husband, they decided, how are we going to retaliate against him? We both can't stand him. Here Young Miami is online confirming that he makes women do things, in these actual escapades. And that was the evidence. That was the smoking gun. Y'all give me one moment. What do y'all think? Again, this is my unpopular opinion. Why did Cassie finally, after all these years of being separated and detached from P Diddy, why did she decide? What triggered her? Why did she decide then to do a lawsuit? I forgot to post. I'm sorry, y'all. And I'm having such bad technical issues. I'm not sure why my avatar won't come up. Welcome to the live stream, everybody. If you have not liked the video, please do so. Join the conversation. Join the conversation down in the chat. I would love to hear your opinion. And if you're just getting here, understand that I am not reading court documents. Other people are doing that. I am not streaming the trial. Other people are also doing that. Today I have an unpopular opinion on what I believe prompted Cassie to um, sue Sean Combs and to um, become a witness of the prosecutors, in my opinion. I am talking about my unpopular opinion. So if you're just getting here, my unpopular opinion is this. Cassie don't like black girls. And if P. Diddy is gonna leave her, don't do it for a black girl. And Young Miami is one of those girls who was unapologetic about who she is. And that lawsuit that Cassie put on P. Diddy was not about P. Diddy. It was about her being jealous of him having the nerve not to just move on, but to move on with somebody that's pretty and that has a social um, class or social value more than she did. And it's all about competition, you guys. It's always about competition. So let's get into why I say that. Why did I say that? So this week it was discovered through cross-examination of Cassie that she was jealous of Kim Porter. If you don't know who Kim Porter is, she is the mother of P Diddy's twins and his son. What's his name? What's his son name? Child, I forgot the little boy name. But he has a son and two girls from Kim Porter. And he's also stated that Kim Porter is his soulmate. He has publicly come out and acknowledged that for years. And while Cassie was with P. Diddy, he never really admired her out in the open. We would see them together. We knew that they were together, but the affection wasn't there. The chemistry wasn't there. Um, he didn't openly and gently adore her out in the open like he did Kim Porter and Young Miami. So this week we learned that during the cross examination with the defense, Cassie shared, she said this. It says Cassie testifies that she was jealous of Kim Porter and frustrated over her difficulty of forming a relationship with Diddy's kids. Um, Says Gina was a constant problem in her relationship. So at the top you have Kim Porter, and then you have Gina down at the bottom. Um, I have other. Hold on, let me go somewhere else. There's another piece to this as well. One moment. So I had always felt like her deciding to come out and put this $30 million lawsuit on him, it wasn't about P. Diddy. She was definitely jealous. Oh, King. Thank you, Matt. King Combs. I was not gonna remember that. She was definitely jealous of his lifestyle that he was still living. And you know, when people are toxic in a relationship, the relationship can break up and go its separate ways, but As long as you're not happy, they're fine. If you still miserable, can't get nothing, can't get money, can't find nobody, they're happy. The moment you find your happiness, then they come back out and be like, you don't have a right to be happy. And in my opinion, Cassie, based on her trauma, now she did go through a lot with him. And a part of her trauma is I've been with you all these years. You have abused me to no end. And now you have the nerve to be walking around with this other girl and she's happy. You're showing her love out in public. How dare you? And all of that was, in my opinion, she was very malicious when she retaliated with that lawsuit. And it was because of that. It had nothing to do with what he did to her. It had everything to do with him moving on. You said that you think she had something to do with Kim's passing. Um, I don't think so. I don't think so. But I don't know either. So, according to the neighborhood talk, it said Cassie testifies that she was jealous of Kim Porter and frustrated over difficulty forming a relationship with Diddy's kids. Says Gina was a constant problem in their relationship. Um, During Thursday, which was yesterday's the cross-examination from the defense, Cassie was asked about Diddy and his other relationships. On behalf of the defense, Anna Estavo asked Cassie if she was jealous of Diddy's ex Kim Porter. She admitted that she had some jealousy of Kim Porter, who passed away in 2018. She says that it was upsetting to see Diddy spend time with his family and Porter for things like holidays. Um, though they weren't in a romantic relationship, she says that they would also have F offs and he would go and visit Kim afterwards. Cassie also admitted that she found out about Gina Hung back in April of 2014, which caused multiple arguments. And in one message, she said to Diddy, I don't want to be a side piece, but I'll treat you as a king. Gina also spoke on her relationship with Diddy in 2019 interview with Tasha K, where she said he also um asked her. So it's interesting that she said she doesn't want to be a side piece when Cassie got involved with Diddy when she was 19. Diddy was well into a relationship, a very well-known relationship with Kim Porter. Kim was everywhere with him. So she entered their relationship as somebody outside of his main relationship. But it's interesting that she didn't want to be a side piece when she interfered with the relationship. It says, as Cassie's testimony continued, they also touched on her relationship with Diddy's kids. She says by 2013, they had been together for 7 years, but she was unable to form a relationship with the children, which was frustrating. In messages, she framed it as Diddy was protecting his kids somehow. I've been at the edge of tears this whole week. I think that you symptomize with my feelings. I understand you like, she said, I understand I'm lost. It's like for what? There, wait, I understand you feeling like you need to protect your children, but after a while, it's like for what? They've never known you and Kim to be together unless there's something that I just don't know about. They were babies when we started dating, Cassie said in a message. Like, girl, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna stop right here. Ladies, if you are with somebody and it feels like you have to tug, 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 tug to get access to them, that means that's an unavailable person. I don't care if they are physically in front of you. You can be physically unavailable and emotionally unavailable. And to me, this is screaming that P. Diddy was he was emotionally unavailable to her, and she was trying to um break down a wall that he had up, and he would not do it. And it's because he had like 15 other women. She was a part of the harem. Like, honey, sometimes y'all got to choose yourself. See your own self-worth, add value to your own life, because when you seek it outside of you, it's always going to be a messy show. Okay, I'm trying not to cuss today. It's, if you understand the other word to mess, it's always going to be a messy place when you're trying to find happiness and value in everything and everybody except for yourself. You have to know your self worth. Seeking it somewhere else, that gives people power over you to continue to step on you, over you, and all kind of other stuff. And this right here was crazy. She was begging to be in this man's life, in his children's life, in a way that was clearly naturally impossible. No parent is going to put somebody above their children when you are just an add-on. You know, this is a hot mess. So, but in essence, I just wanted to show y'all that the whole time she was with Diddy, she was jealous of his longtime girlfriend, mother of his children, Kim Porter. And she admitted that herself. And when the lawsuit first was filed, I'm like, where did this come from? This is very random. No, it wasn't about P. Diddy, y'all. It is my unpopular opinion. And and it alleges, it, this is alleged that she filed that lawsuit against P. Diddy because he had the nerve to get a girlfriend, even though she was married, even though she hadn't had a baby. Cassie filed that lawsuit on him because he was in a relationship with Young Miami, with another black girl. Because in her head, she competes with black girls and black women. Let me see what y'all talking about. Mac said this seems like a case they may be dropping with the state. The the domestic, she got her lawsuit, so it should be over with. But how did that cause an upgrade? I think somebody snitched, but has nothing to do with it. Yeah, I mean, this whole thing is unfortunate. And I'll say this, and I told y'all, I'm not a fan of P. Diddy at all. Is he a dirtbag? Absolutely. A piece of mess? Absolutely. But it's not against the law to lack in morals. And what happens is he lacks morals. It's not against the law to be a big a-hole. He is a big a-hole. Like, he's just that. It's not against the law as an unmarried man to have a relationship with multiple women. And see, what has happened is they have put his his private life in the public for public opinion to decide on his fate, right? So everybody, it's all convoluted. You are charging him with his lifestyle, which everybody has one, right? Some are more intense and dark than others. Now everybody's talking about what he does behind closed doors, and including that and getting it all mixed up with the other charges of trafficking. But she's on the stand right now. She's admitted to initiating a lot of this stuff that everybody is talking about, the F-offs and all that other stuff. They were at times, and what we've learned that she is the one that initiated a lot of it, paid the people, sought out the people, and all that other stuff. So she wasn't just a victim. She was a part of the system that he set up. He was one and she was two. She was a partner in it all. So it's interesting to see if she will get immunity because she is just as accountable for what happened with the other people as he is. So, being that she has put herself in this victim role, oh, I was this and I was that, she is now, what a lot of them do. They want to be around hip hop, they want a black man, and it's all good until you don't like what you get, and now you fall into white tears because what she has done prior to getting on the stand has weaponized her alleged ABUs and her white tears and gotten sympathy from a lot of white attorneys and judges and other white people because even though she's Latina, to them this is that and this is and that is that. So she weaponized all of that to get an opinion and to drag him in the public eye. And it worked. But at the same time, they have to prove that he did all of this, meaning the RICO and the X trafficking. I don't want to get into all that. A lot of people are already talking about it. But what I am saying that when people um villainize or have a peek into your life, your domestic life, or your private life, and be like, "Oh, that's nasty," or "That's them people business." I don't never want to be in nobody's bedroom. I don't care what people do in their bedroom, but because it's different from others, they see something wrong with it, and so a lot of times they're making their conclusions in their decisions based off them judging him and comparing his life to theirs. I would never do that, or I would this, that, and the other. Again, that has nothing to do with the facts. It's not against the law to lack in morals. It's not against the law to have more than one girlfriend or boyfriend, right? That he wasn't married to any of them. So a lot of people are judging him based on that. You say, so I'm thinking those victims, which were kids. I don't know what you talked about. The only victims that I'm aware of is Cassie, and then the other case of the man, and that was thrown out. That was thrown out. And as of recent, even Justin Bieber's manager came out to have to clear up some of the stuff, said nothing happened to him, and to get people to stop saying that um he was abused or something like that. Hold on, let me go to my other area. So yeah, that stood out to me with all she this is what day 4 of her being on the stand, day 5 of the trial. Um yeah, it's a lot. It's a whole bunch of information. But that's my unpopular opinion, y'all. This whole lawsuit was filed because Cassie, even though she was married, even though she had moved on and had a baby, she was jealous, still jealous. She still wanted him to herself. She wanted P. Diddy to herself. And that's the thing when you're dealing with somebody, victims of abuse, my heart goes out to them. But there's a there's an entire it's been proven that when a person has been under abuse so long, they have this thing called Stockholm syndrome where they love their abuser. um and even though she knows that the relationship with her and P Diddy was a toxic one and they should not be together, she still desired to be with him. She still wanted to have access to his money, the lifestyle, and whatever luxury came with it, even though she was so called being traumatized and ABUs, right? So she doesn't know how to process any of that. So what did she do? She weaponized her tears and became a victim, a even bigger victim. And it's and the thing is, out of her mouth, this is her testimony. She even admitted to a lot of the things that the lawsuit is claiming P. Diddy did, which he could have done it. They could have done it together, but she's admitted to it. Her lies are being debunked. They are catching her in so many lies. So it looks like, based on having Cassie as a witness, um, this could be a mistrial. This could be a mistrial, and God forbid this man is proven innocent. It's gonna be hell to pay because he's going to file a lawsuit of retribution if that happens. If that happens, I would love to know what y'all think about it. I would love to know what y'all's opinion is about it. Again, I'm not over here to read court documents. What is your discernment telling you? Based on the wisdom that you have, based on the life experience and your outlook and insight on things, how have you this is, and I'm telling you right now, on a daily basis, I advocate for women and children and victims on a daily basis. But this case, I am in the middle. I, like I said, I support. I feel bad if any of that stuff happened to her. But again, if you're somebody that is in a situation, we know this, even a dog will leave its owner if it's abused to a certain amount of time. But again, you can't tell somebody when to leave. But at the same time, as somebody sitting in it, I want you to look at yourself and say, what could I have done differently? And he said, and also, yeah, there was some behind the scenes. It was also discussed that they both were under the influence heavily, and that came out too on that. They were both had into rehab. After that, they went into rehab, and a lot of things were happening. So, is he excluded? No, he's not. But what I am saying is they both have a hand in everything that has happened, and all of this stuff we've been made aware of, where how this all began, and it's all kicked off some kind of way. That's my point. That's my point. Give me one moment. So let me read this article from Cassie. Hold on, about Cassie. So there's an article by CNN Entertainment, right? And it says Ventura says she was insanely jealous of his girlfriend. The defense has said that the case is really about jealousy. I agree. I felt that way since the beginning. And Ventura admitted in her testimony she was insanely jealous of Combs' other girlfriends. Okay. She said get she said I didn't get that he was him. He was Puff Daddy. He was and Puff Daddy has many women, Ventura says. He likes the company of women, and I had to just really learn that over time. Despite what he would tell me just between us, she continued. He made me feel like we were in a monogamous relationship more often than not. It was really me figuring out that we were not. Okay. So she admitted herself that she was insanely jealous. So you see somebody who's insanely jealous, there is no limit to what they will do to be vindictive or malicious to hurt somebody else. Jealousy is a sickness. It is a horrible sickness. Hold on, that is the wrong screen. And if somebody admits that they're jealous, or you get the inkling that a person is jealous and envious of you, you really, you really should start separating yourself from that person, because they'll do anything. They'll do anything. Being around jealous people is not good. Okay, where is my I have lost my slide, y'all. Hold on. Okay, here we go. So it said Cassie admits she was jealous of Kim Porter's relationship with Diddy. Um, It said Cassie testified that she had some jealousy of Miss Porter, referring to Diddy late partner Kim Porter, during the criminal trial on Thursday in New York City. While the defense questioned her in cross-examination, she admitted that she used to resent Diddy spending holidays with his family and Porter instead of her. Diddy and Porter had a long-lasting on and off relationship from 1994 to 2007. They share a son, Christian, and twin daughters, Jesse and Delilah. Porter ended up dying as a result of lumbar pneumonia in 2018. Cassie's feelings about her speak to the defense opening statements, in which they describe the trial as being about love, jealousy, and money. Point blank period, y'all. That's how I felt way before this trial. When she hit him with that $30 million lawsuit, I said, "Ooh, this gonna be expensive." I ain't listen. She pulled one out the bag, because I ain't never seen nobody do that. It said elsewhere during cross examination, Cassie revealed that Diddy once caught onto her struggles with drug addiction and attempted to help. I lost all sense of smell and taste when I woke up, and I had numbing in my arm, she said, about the period of time has as caught by CNN. The Shade Room. Additionally, the reports that she said Diddy told um, the street pharmacist in LA to stop supplying her with things to self medicate herself. So that is in her words. In her words, she was jealous of Kim Porter. And my word, it is my discernment that she was jealous of Young Miami. And that is what triggered her and caused her to file that $30 million lawsuit. What do y'all think? Do y'all think her filing that lawsuit was because, mind you, they were now already, their relationship had ended as years had gone by, maybe what, 6 to 7 years. She had not been in a relationship with P Diddy, and out of the blue, this lawsuit opens up. So again, you can't tell a person to when to heal and how soon to heal. Fine, she's not healed, but what is the reasoning behind the lawsuit? What is the reasoning behind her partnering with the state to bring charges of ex trafficking and all these other things? So I would love to know from you all what y'all think about this. And again, I apologize if I have offended anyone. And it appears that I am attacking a victim. That is definitely not my intent. I would never, ever, ever do that. Um, what do y'all, and my other question is, with this trial and her husband, Alex, having to witness all of this, do you think this will affect her marriage? That's my other question. That is my other question. Do y'all think being a part of this trial that her husband being privy to all of this information, will it affect her marriage? Put it down in the chat, put it down in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. So, in this footage, you can see Alex Feinstein leaving the courthouse after Cassie concludes her testimony. So, according to the caption, it says, captured Alex Fine leaving the courthouse after his wife Cassie took the stand on the second day of Diddy's ex trafficking trial. As previously reported, the judge overseeing the case ruled that he was allowed to be present in the court for most of the testimony, but not all of it. So if you're not familiar, the defense asked the judge not to allow her husband to sit and listen to the testimony because he too may at some time be called as a witness. So yeah, after this is all very interesting. Interesting. You know, do y'all think he should be allowed to sit in the courtroom? That's another question. If he's a possible witness, should he be allowed to sit in the courtroom? Because if I'm on the defense, I'm going to bat. I'm going to bat. Like, no, I don't want him here. This could affect the case. I know he wants to support his wife, but again, everybody's trying to win their case. So what does that look like? Okay, let's hear what the people have to say.
Kind of in the middle because it somewhat seems like
Hold on. So it says Cassie reveals she suffered from PTSD before ending the relationship with Diddy in 2018. She received $21 million in a settlement. I later learned that it was 30
Wait for
million.
his trial. What do you
Yes.
think so far?
Right now, I think the prosecution did what they needed to do today. They did their big one, even though it's so weird because they did their big one, but it was so subtle. I feel like it wasn't the big explosion that I felt when Puff's team cross-examined the first couple witnesses.
right now I'm kind of in the middle because it somewhat seems like more of a domestic violence type of case versus
I agree. I am in the middle as well.
a RICO federal case.
What I feel like this is going right now, it could go a number of ways. Unlike yesterday, which detailed more a lot of like sexual abuse and a lot of specifics regarding the behavior with the escorts, today seemed to dive more into a lot of like physical abuse.
They laid the groundwork for some of the charges to stick, if I'm being honest with you. And I think that's in question right now. People feel like, oh, well, the prosecution ain't really got nothing. Cassie's testimony alone, and there's still so many people that I'm sure we're going to hear from, laid the groundwork for them charges to stick. I don't think they're going to stick the way that people think. Like, I don't think he's going to spend the rest of his life in jail, but he definitely going to sit down.
So far, it's a back and forth. What we have today now is I think that the prosecutors kept this whole day for themselves. So then that's going to lead us probably into a 2-day cross-examination, most likely. And I think that now that could play into the defense's favor because over the weekend, everybody in the jury is going to be thinking about what the defense said last on their minds.
I think the most damning piece of evidence that was shown was a lot of the photos with bruises all over Cassie's face and having her kind of explain how those bruises happened. And I think one of the photos to me that stood out was the photo of the knife that she put in her door after her and Diddy broke up, where she said that Diddy made a lot of unannounced stops at her house.
But I personally think the most revealing one was in terms of like the bruises, and then at one point, Cassie texted a photo of the bruises to Diddy and said, "I want you to know what you did."
So do you think that today, as a juror, if you were on the jury, that you would convict, or you have enough to convict?
If I was a juror today, I would convict him, but it would be I would suggest a way lighter sentencing than what they're talking about. And I'm not fully convinced yet. So if I was a juror today, I would be leaning towards, okay, he does need to serve some time, but not what they talking about.
No, not yet. I would want to hear from Diddy's defense and see what their rebuttals are, and because there's a lot of facts that still haven't been shown yet.
I wouldn't be so fast to convict yet, man. There's gonna be more.
But after I see the cross-examination of Cassie, I think I'll have a better feeling of like how I think the rest of the case is about to go. But again, she's one witness. She's a star witness, but she's one witness.
So I've seen you with the family every single day at court so far. What is your position with the family?
My position is family and a very close friend of Puff's.
Yesterday you were wearing a free Puffy shirt. Do you believe that Puffy will be free?
Yes, I do believe he's gonna be free. Yes, I do believe that. It ain't what they heard; it's what they didn't hear. Right? They didn't hear any crimes. Right? At least no crimes that'll put a man in jail like that. You follow me? What I heard today was domestic violence. I heard two consenting adults.
Domestic violence is a crime, sir. Beloved, domestic violence is a crime.
Having a freaky situation with one another, and last time I checked, being a freak and being a voyeur is not against the law, and it's definitely punishable by no jail time. So I believe in this team, and it's strong enough to tell the truth. They're strong enough to get the truth. That's all we're doing. We're targeting the truth.
Day 3 of trial. What do you think so far?
Right now, I think the prosecution did what they needed to do today. They did their
Okay. Y'all, this is a big mess. All we can do is take in the information and see what happens. See what happens. Let me see what y'all talking about. Let me see what y'all are talking about. Matt, you done lit up my chat. Thank you, Matt. My all-star moderator in the house, y'all. I've been telling him to get his channel up. Ooh, this is, let me see, okay. You said the feds have all they need. They have the tapes and pictures they got from his home. Everyone they need to talk to have already been called in for a court date. I can see that. You said that's why we think her husband encouraged her because that was years ago. And it was proof. It gets back. It's get back in revenge. I believe so. I mean, I'm not looking down on her about it. I'm not looking at him crazy, but I'm just saying that's the way it appears. That's the way it appears. You said I don't think so because it was before he was in the picture. That's a hard pill to swallow, though. And knowing the fact that she's due any day, I'll definitely won't feel the same. Yep, yep, yep. Like, oh, I mean, I'm about to get off this little stream because I'm about to say way too much. But yeah, my question was, do y'all think this will have an effect on her husband? Because I'm sure he has heard things in this trial that she has not told him, that she has not disclosed. Not because she didn't want to, but because he probably didn't ask the questions that the attorneys asked. So the defense is going to ask certain questions because they want, they want to get down to actually happened. And so him, he's probably finding out new things, just like when there was the trial with Tory Lanez. Meg Thee Stallion was in a relationship, but by the time that trial ended, honey, their relationship was over. Her and party was over. So you gotta have it really tests how firm and how strong your union is when you see somebody have to relive their past in front of you and have to talk about everything they did prior to you, and you have to figure out, were you deceived? Did you fall for the tears? Were you consoling this person, or were they manipulating you with tears? um yeah, it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. It's a big pill to swallow. But at the end of the day, my unpopular opinion is this. My unpopular opinion is this. The reason Cassie filed that lawsuit is because she was jealous. She was jealous of the relationship that P. Diddy had with Young Miami, and he was flaunting that relationship all over the industry. And in her current life with her current husband, she didn't have access to the luxury that she used to have with P. Diddy. She didn't have access to the industry that she used to have with P. Diddy. She didn't have any of that. So in her mind, like, what are you doing showing this chick all over the place? That used to be my position. So she
She's
was
got a
pissed.
point. She's an icon.
Wrong, wrong overlay. She was pissed. So in retaliation, she filed that lawsuit. She said, I'm gonna show you something. Watch this. And she did that. So yeah. I'm not gonna hold y'all too much more longer. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate you for being here. Um, if you have a, if unless you all want to come up, I can drop the link if y'all want to come up and share your opinion. I can do that. And until then, let's wait this out. It seems like every day there's new information that changes the direction of what this outcome is going to be. So it's just best to just sit and watch. You said, I think Cassie's case is just the intro to the future testimonials coming. They're going to wait exactly to what they want to hear, and it's a wrap. It's going to get deeper by next week. We'll see, Mac. Oh, thanks, Jen. Yes, ma'am. Welcome. You said listening from the bushes. Thank you for covering this topic in a logical way. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. I hate to see this, like y'all. And like I said, like I'm not a fan of P. Diddy. I never have been. I've met him on a few occasions. Um, but I don't want to see nobody go down for something that they really, didn't do by themselves. I really feel like she was a willing participant. And we all know we're adults. We know that relationships go bad, right? So we have to make decisions at that point. But even in the worst part of her relationship with him, she still was a part of, getting things organized. Once they implicated her on reaching out to escorts and sent, her reading her own text and stuff like that, she was very involved. It appears that she was not forced. I mean, could there have been times when she was forced? Definitely. But that's not what the evidence that we have been privy to. I feel bad that this has happened to anybody. You know what I mean? But we also have to have the conversation too that people, they make statements out of pure vindictive reasons. And this isn't a case about abuse. It might be, but she's mad for a lot of reasons. She's mad her relationship ended, and she's mad that her ex black boyfriend had the nerve to get a new girlfriend, and that new girlfriend was a black woman at the end of the day. At the end of the day, now I have seen a lot of relationships, but what I do know is this: when black men are in relationships with others than black women, those other women are very insecure with him being in a room with other black women. They don't culturally relate to us. They There's some type of insecurity there. And how dare you leave me and go get somebody that's from your culture that's pretty, that has a more higher value socially and got her own money. How dare you do that? So she's making him pay for that. That's my unpopular opinion. That's what I believe. That's my theory. And if you want to argue with me, you get down in the comments and tell me what you think, honey. It won't be no ignorant exchange, but I would love to hear what anyone has to say. Like, what triggered her? That's the question. What triggered her to go ahead after all this time that the relationship ended with P Diddy? Why did she wait so long to do the civil lawsuit? That's all I'm asking. Cause you could have been did that civil lawsuit, baby. But again, I do not want to be victim blaming or any of that. But I want to know what y'all think. Why did she wait so long to file that civil lawsuit? And the terms of the civil lawsuit too is, there was no NDA attached to it. So I would have to wonder, like, to P Diddy, like, why didn't your attorneys attach an NDA to the civil lawsuit? Because now not only does she have 30 to 40 million dollars of your money, but she can also continue to talk to the day she dies, to the day she's gone from this earth. She will keep talking. I guess. Y'all, thank you for hanging out with me. I hope that I did not um offend somebody terribly, because that's not my intention. I just want us to look at things in a way that we remove all the other stuff, the emotion. Um, so in the polls, I asked, did Cassie file the lawsuit and claim because she was jealous of P. Diddy's relationship with Young Miami? Over here on my absolutely amazing page, 80% of the people said yes. That's 10 votes. So that's what? 8 people said yes and 2 people said no. Over here at Discerning God is the same question. With 9 votes, it said, did Cassie file the lawsuit and claims because she was jealous of P. Diddy's relationship with Young Miami? Wow, 30. Okay. 9 votes. One person said yes and 8 people said no. So thank y'all so much for participating in the poll. Two different communities. Like over here in the sports community, um, in terms of my subscribers, they're I'm 80% men over here, I believe. Like 70, it's 70-30 over here. Discerning God is, and largely it's almost 100% of women over at the Absolute Amazing channel. So I do want to thank you all so much for participating in this live stream, for participating in the poll, and just for giving me your time. I don't take that for granted, and I hope that you will continue to, allow me to come to you with my thoughts, my opinions, my perspectives. And one day I want y'all to want to join these conversations. So, with that being said, God bless you for the remainder of your day, and definitely have a blessed and a safe weekend. Um, and I will see you all in the next video.